Wow, last journey. The cab driver. Oh, these are the moral stories, by the way. I feel so excited, it's like just get going and run and enjoy and have fun. Oh, Lord. Uh, yeah, I wish you would enjoy it, listening and seeing and being. I mean, it could bring out the same joyfulness in you like it is in me. I'm enjoying this. The sole purpose of life is to enjoy, live in joy, and rise from our lower self to our highest self. So I'm going deep inside me to reach out to high up above towards all as one. Unity, beautiful. Last journey. The cab driver picked up his passenger in the dead of the night. An elderly woman stood outside the building with a suitcase. He smiled at her as walked her to the car and carried her case into the trunk of the cab. As they settled into drive, he asked her where she wanted to go. After giving him the address, she asked, "Can we drive through downtown to get there?" "It's no longer," he said. "It will be longer," he said. The woman smiled. "I don't mind. I'm going to the hospice tonight." The cab driver looked into the rear mirror. Her eyes were glistening. "I don't have any family left," she continued. "The doctor says I don't have very long." He quietly reached over and shut off the meter. They drove for 2 hours with the woman showing the cab driver various buildings where she grew up, where she worked, where she met her husband. As the sun started rising, they stopped outside the hospice where two orderlies greeted them. "Hi." His cab driver carried her suitcase to her and she was already seated in the wheelchair to be taken in. "How much do I owe you?" she said. The cab driver said, "Nothing at all. You have to make a living," she answered. "Oh, there are other passengers," he responded. Almost without thinking, he bent and gave her a hug. She held on to him tightly. Their hug ended with her remark, "You gave an old woman a little moment of joy." After a slight pause, she added, "Thank you. We never get to know the stories of the people we meet. A little kindness and love is all that is needed to make a difference in the world." Lion story. Once upon a time, there were three lions: Daddy Lion, Mummy Lion, and Baby Lion. It was soon going to Baby Lion's birthday. He would be 1 year old. "I want a birthday party," Baby Lion said. "I will be 1 year old. I want a party." "Who are you going to invite?" "All the animals, the hippos, the rhinos, and the gazelles." "But we eat them," Daddy Lion explained. "Not on my birthday," Baby Lion said. "We are going to eat cakes instead." "Oh, I don't know about cake," Mummy said. "We are lions, we eat gazelles, and cake rots your teeth." "Let him have some cake," Daddy Lion said. "One slice won't him any harm. And I want streamers and candles and games, and you let your parents worry about," said Mummy Lion said. "But not the monkeys," Baby Lion said. "They throw poo at us." That night when Baby Lion was sleeping, Mummy Lion spoke to Daddy Lion. "So what are we going to do about the birthday? How are we going to get all the birthday things? We need to get a bus to town." "Well, we can't get the bus. We are lions," the monkey did. "I'll go and speak to the monkeys," Daddy Lion said. Daddy Lion approached the tree. "Hello, monkeys." Some poo got thrown at him. "Wait a minute. I want to speak. I am not going to try to eat you." "What is it?" "Well, you know how you went into town and got some stuff. Tell me about it." "She wants to go to the shops every weekend now." "Well, do you think you could get us something such as?" "Well, it is our son's birthday and he wants a party, and we wondered if you would be so kind as to go into town and get us party hats and streamers, a cake and other party things. Oh, and a present." "What sort of present?" "A cuddy boy, so he was practice hunting." "I don't know about the cuddy boy. The less killing you lions do, the better it is for the rest of us." "Well, get him something." "What's in it for us?" "We promise not to try and eat you for a month, 3 months, 2 months, 3 months, and we promise not to throw poo at you or no deal." "Okay, 3 months," Daddy Lion said, relenting. Daddy Lion watched from a distance as the three monkeys got at the number 44 bus and went on another shopping trip. Right, we have got your things, Daddy Monkey said as they returned. If the lions keep your distance, we will put them in a small distance from the tree. I want all lions to be where I can see them. We promise not to try and eat you. Yes, let's not put temptation in the way, shall we? Rightly so, Daddy Lion replied. The happy birthday party arrived. Renu arrived with their present, a small rock. That's not many things, and you can afford on the Prince of Africa to give as a present. The hippos then arrived, and they had bought some grass as a present. Then other animals arrived with their presents, which mostly consisted of things they had found lying about like leaves, grass, and stones. One thoughtful, nervous gazelle had managed to bring a flower. Baby lion then put it behind his ears. Mummy lion then got the cake out, and all the animals rode and squeaked and tried to sing happy birthday. Where's the candle? I wanted the candle to blow out. Where's the candle? Mummy lion asked. Wait till I see those monkeys. They are supposed to get it. I'll sort them out. Never mind, Mummy Lion said. Have some cake and then there is chicken to follow. What's chicken? I don't know, but the monkeys got it when they went to town. It was very cold to begin with, but now it is just the right temperature. It smells like ostrich. Daddy Lion strolled over to the monkeys' trees. Right, monkeys, where's the candle? What candle? The candle for the cake. But you never asked for a candle. Well, what good is a birthday cake without a candle? I don't know. We have never bothered with birthdays. Why do you have candles to blow out? How would you light it? What do you mean? Well, forgive me my limited knowledge, but lions haven't discovered fire yet, and neither have we monkeys. How would we light the candle? We weren't going to light it. Baby was going to blow it, and he would think he had blown it out. Does he know what a candle is? No. Well, just use a twig. Stick a twig in the cake and tell him it's a candle. Right, we may just try that. Daddy Lion walked back over the party where the boy lion was tucking into cake and chicken and was opening his present. He seemed to have forgotten about the lack of candles. What is it? It's a cuddly lion. We asked the monkeys. Oh, they are sneaky. Well, it is the best birthday I've ever had. I've had chicken, cake, a cuddly lion to play with, and been given some nice rocks as well. I may arrange them and a chicken bones to make a nice rockery and bondery. You do that, son. There, though you may have to chase the vultures and the hyenas away. You know what they are like with bones? I'll set my cuddly toy on guard. What are you going to call him? Cuddles, of course. A short story. Mary had just returned from her school. She was 30. Mary, you can have a cup of milk, called her mother. Mary went into the dining hall. Mummy, the milk is spoiled, she cried out. Her mother came in. Let me see. Yes, this milk is spoiled, her mother said. She took out the sachet from the cupboard. See, Mary, the milk is the sachet in it. All is all right. She said. Mary could not understand. The milk got from the milk vendor in the morning got spoiled, but the sachet got from the supermarket was still good. How is that? She asked her mother the reason for this. Her mother explained the sachet milk is pasteurized. The milk got from the milk vendor is not pasteurized one. But what is the meaning of pasteurized? Pasteurized is a scientific method. Fresh milk is boiled to a high degree, then it is cooled rapidly. In this process, the germs of the milk get killed. That was first done by Louis Pasteur. His name is given to this process. Who is Louis Pasteur? Louis Pasteur was a chemist. He was born in 1822 in a town in France. His parents were not rich, but they gave him a good education. He secured a degree in science. His marks in chemistry were not high, but his interest in chemistry made him continue his studies in chemistry. He spent a lot of time in the laboratory. He was continually looking through a microscope at the germs. His professor made fun of him. They are useless to man. You are wasting your time, he said. But Pasteur replied, Sir, the germs cause sickness. I must find out what germs cause which disease. Where do germs come from, sir? That I must find out, replied Pasteur. And Pasteur found out after a long and patient work, the germs are present in water, earth, dust, and even in the air we breathe. These germs turn milk sour. Milk is a carrier of germs. These germs can cause diseases like tuberculosis or typhoid. He made many experiments. Finally, he found out the method to kill the germs in the milk. Pasteur did not stop with milk. He continued his research, and thrush, diphtheria, and rabies were terrible diseases. Pasteur found out certain vaccines. These vaccines can prevent and cure these terrible diseases. One day, a mother brought her son Joseph to Pasteur. Joseph had been bitten by a mad dog. He had 14 wounds all over his body. The dog had rabies. Everyone felt sorry for the boy. They said the child is sure to die. Even Pasteur had no hopes. But he had decided to save the boy. Pasteur had prepared a serum from the rabbit. The rabbit had died of rabies. He injected the serum into the baby's body. At first, small quantities. Slowly, he increased the dosage. On the ninth day, Joseph showed improvement. He was out of danger. In 3 months' time, Joseph walked out of the hospital. He then became a perfectly healthy child. The year was 1885. Many had been bitten by mad dogs, but no one had escaped death. Since 1885, thousands of lives have been saved by anti-rabies treatment. The world has to thank Louis Pasteur. Louis Pasteur is considered to be the greatest scientist of France, or by the people of France. Man overboard. Beautiful. I stood on a deck of SS Rajula. As she slowly moved out of the Madras harbour, I waved to my grandparents till I could see them no more. I was thrilled to be on a boat ship. It was a new experience for me. I'd be traveling alone. I asked the person standing next to me. Yes, uncle, I'm going back to my parents in Singapore, I replied. What's your name? Vasanta. I spent the day exploring the ship. I looked just like the big house. There were furnished rooms, a swimming pool, a room for indoor games, and a library. Yet there was plenty of room to move around. The next morning, the passengers were seated in the dining hall having breakfast. The loudspeaker spluttered noisily, and then the captain's voice came loud and clear. France, we have just received a message from the storm is brewing in the Indian Ocean. I request all of you keep calm. Do not panic. Those who are inclined to seasickness may please stay in their cabins. Thank you. There was a panic everywhere. An old lady prayed aloud, oh God, have mercy on us. My only son is waiting for me in Singapore. A gentleman consoled her. Don't worry, madam. It's only a warning. We may not be affected at all. And the lady who was sitting beside me looked very ill. Not rough weather. I'm already seasick. A rough sea will be the end of me. I could not understand why the elders were so upset. I remember the several sea adventures I had read. Excitedly, I turned to the elderly gentleman sitting next to me. Uncle, won't it be thrilling to face a storm on board a steamer? Have you ever been on a ship during the storm? It can be quite unpleasant, he replied rather civilly. I remember the time when the ship on which I was traveling ran off course. We were wandering on the ocean for a couple of days. I remember my class teachers as an English woman telling us in class one day, when I crossed the English Channel on my way to Singapore, there was a big storm near Gibraltar. The ship rocked to and fro. Everything in the cabins rolled up and down. Even the heavy pianos in the lounge went crashing against the walls. This made my imagination run wild. Turning to uncle again, I said, wouldn't it be fun if the storm broke when we have lunch? Then the tables with all the food on them would run away from us. From all the chairs with us sitting on them would be a merry-go-round. Everyone round the table stared at me in horror. I thought to myself, oh, these adults, they have no use of adventure, or how dull they are. The storm didn't break, but in the evening a strong wind started blowing. The ship rocked to and fro, rocking and rolling to the music of the wind. Huge waves were dashing against it. Even though the deck was slippery, I was running around that swaying. I noticed uncle leaning over the railing. I ran up to him, thinking he too was enjoying the experience. Good morning, uncle. Isn't it lovely? I asked him, but he wasn't well at all. He was reaching over the rails and looking rather blue about the mouth. I felt sorry for him. Can I be of any help? Shall I call the doctor? I asked him. He couldn't reply, but only he held up his hand as another bout of reaching shook him. He leaned over the railings. At the same time, a huge wave lashed the ship. It lurched violently, and the man tumbled over the railings into the wild sea. For a second, I stood rooted to the spot. Then I ran like someone possessed, shouting and help, help, man overboard, save him. I must have made a lot of noise. I heard footsteps hurrying even that early in the morning. Tears streaming down my face and shouting incoherently. I ran full pelt into an officer. What is the matter? Why are you making so much noise? He asked in a stern voice. I was surprised to see it was the captain. Oh, sir, I blurted out in relief. A man fell into the sea. Please save him. Where? He asked immediately on the alert. There, I said, pointing a finger. He did not wait for my more details, but ran at once to a room full of officermen overboard. He cried, "Stop ship, drop anchor, quick!" His instructions were immediately obeyed. The captain then raced to the upper deck. I kept trailing behind him, lower the lifeboats and crew into the sea towards the hem. There is a man overboard. Here again the man quickly obeyed him. People started crowding the deck. What's happening? Someone asked me. Word soon went around. Everyone was tense. Only an occasional "there he is" could be heard, and someone asked, "Who's he?" Another replied, "Don't you know?" Meanwhile, 2 lifeboats moved towards the man. I stood close to the captain in his anxiety. He gripped my shoulder tightly, and I winced. "You are hurting me, sir," I protested. "I'm sorry, my dear. The sea is very rough today. I hope my men can reach him in time. My ship has never lost a passenger before," he said, crossing himself. He was watching the rescue operation through the pair of binoculars that hung around his neck. The boat was too far for me to see what was happening. I tugged at the captain's sleeve. "What are you doing, sir? Have you rescued the man?" I asked him. "They have caught him by the arms and are pulling him towards the boat." He was giving me a running commentary. "Oh, what bad luck! A sudden current had swept the man away, dragging 2 of the sailors with him." He sounded nervous. Just then, he noticed the passengers crowding against the railings. "Keep away from those railings," he shouted. "We don't want another accident." The ship had dropped anchor but was heaving up and down. I borrowed the captain's binoculars. Now I could see the rescue operation clearly. The crew in the rescue boats threw a strong rope to the 2 sailors in the sea and shouted, "Catch both of them!" Very good swimmers, and soon he had caught hold of the rope. Then, with powerful strokes, they swam towards Uncle. One of them caught hold of him while the other tied the rope around his waist. With Uncle between them and the rope secure, the sailors swam back to the lifeboat. The rescue team in the boats leaned over and heaved the 3 men into it. In a jiffy, the boat were headed back to the ship. "Thank God," muttered the captain, making the signs of the cross again. "They have managed to save him." He turned to the passengers thronging the railings. "Please do not crowd round the man when he is brought up. He will need immediate medical care." Then he saw the ship's doctor standing with a couple of nurses. A stretcher was also being brought close to the railings. "Doctor, is everything ready for the patient?" the captain asked. Captain," nodded the doctor. The captain moved away to restore order on the ship. I edged close to the doctor and asked, "What will you do to him, doctor? Will he be all right?" "I think so. All the water will have to be pumped out of him. He will have to be given artificial respiration and kept warm." "How do you pump the water out?" I asked. "We put him on his stomach and massage him until he brings it all up." As soon as the rescue team rescued the ship, Uncle was placed on the stretcher and rushed to the hospital room. The captain then came to me and said, "Run along now and play with your friends. I'm busy, but will send for you when I'm through. I might even have a surprise for you." Then he turned away. I quietly sneaked into the hospital room to see what they were doing to the patient. 2 nurses were scurrying to and fro with trays full of medicine and syringes. Another was rushing off with Uncle's bedclothes. I stopped her, and Uncle asked if Uncle was conscious. "Not yet," she replied, "but he's better now. He should regain consciousness in a little while." The ship was still rolling, so I couldn't play any games. I went and sat in a cozy chair in the lounge that started reading storybook. I was feeling drowsy and must have dozed off. The next tilling I knew was somebody saying, "Wake up, child, you are Vasanta. Aren't you the captain wants to see you in this cabin?" I went up to see a sailor standing before me. It took me a minute to recollect the rescue operation and the captain telling me, "I'll call you afterwards." I followed the officer eagerly. He left me outside the captain's door saying, "Go right inside." I knocked and entered. The captain was standing in the middle of the room. When he saw me, he came forward and literally swept me off my feet. He was still smiling when he put me down. "You will have plenty to tell your friends, eh? Now close your eyes." I did so. Seconds later, I heard him say, "See what I've got for you." On opening my eyes, I saw a big brown box, and it was written with the best compliments of Captain Dent saying. I took the box and eagerly opened it, and what a lovely ship. I exclaimed, "Does this really belong to me? Can I keep it?" Lying snugly on the velvet backing with the most beautiful model of the ship. Oh, on it was inscribed BISN and Company SS Rajula. I placed the box carefully on the table. Then I threw my hands round the captain and hugged and kissed him. He patted my cheek and smiled as he saw me lift the box and walk happily out of this room. I proudly showed my present to everyone I met. "See what the captain has given me. Isn't it lovely?" Yes, indeed, was the unanimous verdict. I was the happiest person on the boat that day. Aha, monkey story. Once upon a time, there were 3 monkeys: Daddy Monkey, Mummy Monkey, and Baby Monkey. They lived in a tree on the plains in Africa. That was not much to do in their trees. They were bored. "I'm bored," said Baby Monkey. "Let's go shopping." "Don't be stupid. Don't have any cash." "We don't need cash," replied Mummy Monkey. "We are monkeys." "Now that is a good point. So, how do we get into town?" "Get the bus, of course. How else? We can drive a car." "And number 44 should be along fairly soon," said Mummy Monkey. "We could get it. It would go right to the center of the city." Monkey wandered over to the bus stop, avoiding the lions who were looking very angry that morning, and waited for a bus. Soon enough, a number 44 came along and they jumped off. "Fare, please," said the driver. The monkeys just ignored the driver as they didn't have the correct change because they didn't have the pockets because they were monkeys. Have you ever noticed the handles on traps on buses that hang down from the rails on buses? That's in case the bus ever stops in Africa and monkeys want to get on, or South America where there are monkeys there and they have prehensile tails, which means they can hang from them using their tails. However, I have digressed. Monkeys started swinging on the straps as monkeys are inclined to do. After all, they are monkeys, but not using their tails as they were African monkeys. Oh, monkeys, stop that. Monkeys being monkeys just ignore the driver. After all, they never do anything humans tell them. That's why they don't make good pets. So children, never ask your mummy or daddy or for a pet monkey. It was just wreck your house. Oops, I've digressed again. The driver stopped by us. They were still in the middle of the summer. "Right, monkey, off the bus," the driver shouted. The monkeys jumped out of the window as the driver looked quite angry. The windows had been left open because it was really hot day, which it often is in Africa. The 3 monkeys then went and sat on the roof. The driver monkey noticed what the monkeys had done, and soon the bus started off again. The monkeys could hear the driver's mother use words like poo under their breath. "Hey, look," Baby Monkey shouted. "What?" replied Mummy Monkey. "There is some giraffes." "Well, yes, you get giraffes in Africa. Why don't we get them in here for free? The lions get them off." "Can't we ask the lions not to eat them?" "Well, we don't want the giraffes coming and eating our leaves, do we?" "I suppose not." Soon they reached the city center and spotted a particularly large shop. "I want to go shopping in there," said Mummy Monkey, pointing to that large department store and jumping off the bus roof. "What are you going to get?" asked Daddy, following. "Shoes and a dress. I'm a lady monkey. What else do ladies get in the shops?" "What are you going to get?" she asked. "Don't know. Perhaps the latest Manchester United pop." "Man United? I don't know. You like football?" "Anyway, we don't like Manchester. We live in Africa." Most Manchester supporters don't live in Manchester. Yes, but you should support a local team, such as, I don't know what they are called, but some of the gas dealers have taken to kicking some stones about. It's hardly the same, is it? No, I suppose not. So, what else are you going to get? A big flat screen telly. So, how are you going to get that home? On the bus, of course. We don't have anywhere to plug it in. I don't know if you have decided, but there aren't any sockets in our tray. I'm going to get a solar powered one. What about the night when the man you are playing in the Champions League? We'll have to record it, Daddy Monkey said, and winked and hung from the light fitting. What can I get? Asked Baby Monkey. Whatever you like, replied his mother. I want a comic and an ice cream because I'm hot, and I want a radio controlled helicopter to annoy the lions with, and a lot of Lego to build a tree just like ours. So can we live in a Lego tree? And I want a car and a train set in a Barbie doll. What do you want a Barbie for? Daddy asked from his light. Let him have a Barbie, Mother said, because she's a monkey doctor. There's her new job, monkey doctor. She can cure you if you get any itchy bottom. I never get an itchy bottom, Daddy Monkey replied indignantly. Why do you keep scratching it then? Mother asked. I'm a monkey. Monkeys are supposed to scratch their bottoms. Mummy Monkey was no longer listening. She had bought a pair of shoes and like most females, all thought went out of her brain at the sight of some shiny new shoes. I'm having those shoes, she said. Of course, dear, Daddy Monkey replied, looking round the shop for some football tops and televisions. Mummy Monkeys ran over and grabbed the shoes, but she was a monkey and had size 1 foot, whereas the shoes were size 4 and they didn't fit so soon as she tried them, as they just fell off. Try stuffing a newspaper in them, Father suggested. Oh, good idea. Mummy Monkey got a copy of Hello and used the letters delivery wedding to keep her shoes on. This isn't a funny topic, Baby Monkey said, picking up what he thought was a comic. That's because it's the news of the world. They are difficult to tell apart. Comic have better stories though. Oh no, we have been rumbled, he shouted as he saw a group of humans coming towards them. Let's capo. Mommy Monkey raced after her monkey husband in a 3-inch high skeletons with pages of Hello trailing after her. They ran through to the next department, perfume. Oh, I have to try this, she said, bouncing off the counters. The 3 monkeys jumped and grabbed perfume bottles from the orange-faced woman. Each one was hastily applied by Mummy Monkey, and so Britney Spears' latest concoction soon mingled with Perfume the Monkey in an ever-increasing assault to the nose. Still being chased by an increasing number of humans, the monkeys then ran through into the women's clothing department, which took up 60% of the store, and Mummy Monkey grabbed a small black cocktail dress as she bounced past. The monkey ran out of the store and onto the top of the number 27 bus going past. There is a 44 going back to our trees, Daddy shouted as bus went past in the opposite direction. The 3 monkeys jumped from the top of one bus to the other bus. Mummy Monkey nearly dropped the Hello cover shoes as they did. An hour later, the monkeys were sitting in their tree. Daddy Monkey hadn't got his solar-powered flat screen telly or his football top. Baby Monkey had got a rubbish comic that wasn't what he really wanted. Mummy Monkey had a nice black dress, a pair of shoes that don't quite fit, and some perfume. So all in all, a pretty normal shopping trip then. Oh my God, wasn't it good? I was so excited to know what's happening next year. My time is coming. An elephant and a dog became pregnant at some time. 3 months down the line, the dog gave birth to 6 puppies. 6 months later, the dog was pregnant again. The 9 months on it gave birth to another dozen puppies. The pattern continued. On the 18th month, the dog approached the elephant, questioning, Are you sure that you are pregnant? We became pregnant on the same date. I have given birth 3 times to a dozen puppies, and they are now grown to become big dogs. Yet you are still pregnant. What's going on? The elephant replied. There is something I want you to understand. What I am carrying is not a puppy but an elephant. I only gave birth to one in 2 years. When my baby hits the ground, the earth feels it. When my baby crosses the road, human beings stop and watch in admiration. What I carry draws attention. So, what I am carrying is mighty and great. Lesson: don't lose faith when you see others receive answers to their prayers. If you haven't received your own blessings, don't despair. Say to yourself, my time is coming, my blessings are being processed, prepared, packaged, and wrapped up in God's glory. So wonderful, la la la, really enjoying, no? Absolutely wonderful. Once there lived a foolish rabbit named Ribbit. Oh, it is quite dangerous to live on land, Ribbit always thought. Ribbit thought hard to find a safe place to live. Finally thought of what? I will go and live in the river. He said, so foolish. Ribbit went to the river and jumped into it. Help! Cried Ribbit. He did not even know how to swim, but always heard Ribbit crying and saved him. That was the last time Ribbit ever went near the river, owning mistakes. Simon was a curious boy. He was fond of reading adventure stories. He lived with his grandfather. One night, he stealthily entered the storeroom where his grandfather kept his prizes and things Simon knew. His grandfather did not make any to touch his rare collections. Once inside the room, Simon stood on a chair. He lifted the box wherein his grandfather had kept many wristwatches bought from different countries he had visited. While getting down from the chair, Simon's elbow struck against the chair. The box slipped out of his hands and fell onto the floor. All the watch lay scattered all around. In his utter shock, he found the glass of his grandfather's favorite watch broken. Simon got frightened lest his grandfather should come to know about the broken glass. He started picking up the pieces of glass. Simon thought, how will I tell my grandfather that his favorite watch had got broken? He will be angry with me if I do not tell him. He will not come to know about it. Simon got nervous. His heart started beating faster. He put the broken watch back into the box and placed the box back on the shelf. Afterward, he went to sleep. He tossed and turned in bed. He could not sleep in peace throughout the whole night. The next morning, Simon got up early. He gathered courage to go and admit his fall to his grandfather. Reaching his grandfather's bedroom, he told him everything. The grandfather looked thoughtful. He did not say anything to Simon. He went over to the storeroom. Simon kept standing with his head down. Having returned from the store, the grandfather said to Simon, I felt very angry when you had broken my precious watch. Your grandmother gifted it to me on our first wedding anniversary, but you need not worry, only the glass is broken. I shall have it replaced. Simon felt relieved. After some time, his grandfather went into the kitchen and bought a glass of milk for him. While giving the milk to Simon, his grandfather said, it was brave enough of you to tell me about the broken watch. You knew that I will scold you, not you? Simon said, I was scared at first, but I dare not tell a lie. I should not have touched your things without your permission. Simon's grandfather further remarked, when I was at your age, I also broke my mother's precious flower vase. I was scared to own up to my mistake, but when I went to confess, she said that she already knew about it. Moral: if it is brave to admit your mistakes, you may be scared of being scolded, but it is the only way for you to be free from guilt. Perceptive. Two twin boys were raised by an alcoholic father. One grew up to be an alcoholic, and when asked what happened, he said, I watched my father. The other grew up and never drank in his life. When asked what happened, he said, I watched my father. Two boys, same day, two different perspectives. Your perspective in life will determine your destination. Today is a new day. Solomon and the bees. Solomon was a wise king. One day the queen of Sheba went to see him. She stood up in front of him at a distance. She held two garlands in her hands. One garland was made up of real flowers, while the other garland was made up of not real flowers. Which is true, which is false? As the Queen, Solomon was silent for a while. He saw some bees outside the window. They were sitting on the rows. Open the window, said the king to a servant. The servant obeyed the order. The bees entered the room through the window. They sat upon the garland of real flowers. Everybody now knew which the real garland was. The Queen praised Solomon's wisdom and returned to the room in peace. A short story. Reward for bravery. There was once a kind duke. He was loved and respected by his subjects. This duke had a wicked brother. His name was Frederick. Frederick rebelled against his brother. He drove away the duke. The duke was a peace-loving person. He left the duke dumb. He went to the forest called Arden. His followers also went with him. There he led a peaceful life with his followers. Frederick became a duke. The duke had a daughter. Her name was Rosalind. Frederick also had a daughter. Her name was Celia. Rosalind and Celia were fond of each other from their childhood. Celia wanted Rosalind to be with her in her palace. Frederick allowed Rosalind to be in the palace with his daughter. This was for the sake of his own daughter Celia. Sir Roland de Boys was friend of the elder duke who was in the forest. Sir Roland died, leaving all his property to the eldest son, whose name was Oliver. Oliver was jealous of his younger brother, whose name was Othello. Oliver did not give any part of the property or money to Orlando. He did not even educate Orlando either. In Duke Frederick's court, there was a powerful wrestler. His name was Charles. No young man dared to challenge Charles, but Orlando accepted the challenge. Oliver met Charles secretly. He instructed Charles to do the worst to Orlando. At the wrestling place, there were many people. Duke Frederick was also there. In the earlier matches, Charles threw little challenges, one after another. All three challengers had broken their ribs. They were struggling for life. Celia and Rosalind also had come there. Duke Frederick asked the girls to talk to the young man Orlando. Frederick had felt that Charles would throw Orlando down in the fight. The girls approached Orlando. They requested him not to fight. Orlando refused gently. He said, I have no one to care for me. I do not care even to die. The match began. Orlando was much stronger than Charles. Orlando lifted Charles above his shoulders. Then he threw him down. Charles became unconscious after falling. Frederick and all others were happy. They congratulated Orlando told Frederick, I am the second son of the late Sir Reverend de Boys. Frederick did not like Orlando for that minute onwards, because Frederick had not liked Sir Orlando de Boys. The two girls, on the contrary, praised Orlando. Rosalind was happy. Sir Roland had been her father's friend, so then took out a gentleman's neck and presented it to Orlando. This was the reward for his bravery. Sacrificial service. Beautiful. One stormy night many years ago, an elderly man and his wife entered the lobby of a small hotel in Philadelphia. Trying to get out of the rain, the couple approached the front desk, hoping to get some shelter for the night. We would like a room, please, the husband requested. The clerk, a friendly man, was a winning smile, looked at the couple and explained that there were three conventions in town. All of our rooms are taken, the clerk said. But I can't send a nice couple like you out in the rain at 1 o'clock in the morning. Would you perhaps be willing to sleep in my room? It's not exactly a suite, but it will be good enough to make you folks comfortable for the night. When the couple declined, the clerk insisted, don't worry about me. Make out just fine, he told them. So the couple agreed to spend the night in his room. As he paid his bill the next morning, the elderly man said to the clerk, you are an exceptional man. Finding people who are both friendly and helpful is rare these days. You are the kind of messenger who should be the boss of the best hotel in the United States. Maybe someday I will build one for you. 2 years passed. The clerk was still managing the hotel in Philly when he received a letter from the old man. He recalled that stormy night and enclosed was a round trip to New York, asking the young man to pay him a visit. The old man met him in New York and led him to the corner of Fifth Avenue and 34th Street. He then noted to a great new building. There a palace of reddish stone with turrets and watchtowers thrusting up to the sky. That, he said, is the hotel I would like you to manage. That old man's name was William Waldorf Astor, and the magnificent structure was the original Waldorf Astoria Hotel. Oh my God! So pretty, no? I see this hotel all the time. Since living in America, Manhattan is like just 10 minutes away from home. It's fun. The clerk who became the first manager was George C. Watt. This young clerk never foresaw how this simple act of selfless service would lead him to become the manager of one of the world's most glamorous hotels. The way to the top with people is not just through service, it's through extravagant sacrificial service. When someone goes out of their way to help you, it makes all the difference in the world. Powerful advice from a dying man. I was only 24 years old, yet I have actually already chosen my last tie. It is the one that I will never wear on my funeral a few months from now. It may not match my suit, but I think it's perfect for the occasion. The cancer diagnosis came too late to give me at least a tenuous hope for a long time. But I realized that the most important thing about death is to ensure that you leave the world a little better than it was before you existed with its contributions. The way I have lived my life so far, my existence, or more precisely, the loss of it, will not matter because I have lived without doing anything impactful. You existed with your contributions. Before, there are so many things that occupied my mind. When I learned not much time I had left, however, it became clear which things were really important. So I'm writing to you for a selfish reason. I want to give meaning to my life by sharing with you what I have realized you existed with your contributions. Don't waste your time on work that you don't enjoy. It is obvious that you cannot succeed in something that you don't like. Patience, passion, and dedication come easily only when you love what you do. It's stupid to be afraid of others' opinions. Fear weakens and paralyzes you if you let it. It can grow worse and worse every day until there is nothing left of you but a shell of yourself. And listen to your inner voice and go with it some other place. Some people may call you crazy, but some may even think you're a legend. Take control of your life, take full responsibility for the things that happen to you, limit bad habits, and try to lead a healthier life. Find a sport that makes you happy. Most of all, don't procrastinate. Let your life be snuffed by decisions that you made, not by ones you didn't. Appreciate the people around you. Your friends and relatives will always be an infinite source of strength and love. That is why you shouldn't take them for granted. It is difficult for you to fully express my feelings about the importance of these simple realizations, but I hope that you will listen to someone who has experienced how valuable time is. I'm not upset because I understand the last days of my life have become meaningful. The only regret that I will not be able to see a lot of good stuff that should happen soon, like the creation of A1 or Elon Musk's next awesome project. I also hope that the war in Syria and Ukraine will end soon. We care so much about the health and integrity of our body that until death we don't notice that the body is nothing more than a box or parcel for delivering our personality, thought, belief, intention to this world. If there is nothing in this box that can change the world, then it doesn't matter if it disappears. I believe that we all have potential, but it also takes a lot of courage to realize that you can float through a life created by circumstances missing day after day, hour after hour, or you can fight for what you believe in and write the great story of your life. I hope you will make the right choice. Leave a mark in this world. Have a meaningful life, whatever definition it has for you, go towards it. The place we are living is a beautiful playground where everything is possible, yet we are not here forever. Our life is a short spark in this beautiful little planet that mess with incredible speed to the endless darkness of the unknown universe. So enjoy your time here with passion. Make it interesting, make it count. If this teaching you pass it on to inspire others to make the most of this life. Beautiful sands of forgiveness. Two friends were walking through the desert. During some point of the journey, they had an argument and one slapped the other one in the face. The one who got slapped was hurt, but without saying anything, wrote in the sand, "Today my best friend slapped me in the face." They kept on walking until they found an oasis where they decided to take a bath. The one who had been slapped got stuck in the mire and started drowning, but the friend saved him. After he recovered from the near drowning, he wrote on a stone, "Today my best friend saved my life." The friend who had slapped and saved his best friend asked him, After I heard you, you wrote in the sand and now you write on a stone. Why? The other friend replied, when someone hurts us, we should write it down in sand because winds of forgiveness can erase it away. But when someone does something good for us, we must engrave it in stone where no wind can ever erase it. Save your mind at any cost. Beautiful. Save your mind at any cost. Tenali Raman and his wife were going to a friend's wedding. His wife wore her best sari and jewels. Suddenly, an out of control bullock cart came rushing from behind. Tenali quickly pulled his wife toward himself in an effort to bring her to safety. Lost his balance, and both of them fell into the pit along the road. Wife upset, what do you think you're doing? You spoiled my beautiful dress. I can't go to the wedding like this now. Tenali, well, it is time to buy a new dress then, as she smiles to himself, thanking God that she is safe. Scarlo Stork, who lived in Switzerland, was packing his bags with Roberto Mouse. Came that way. Scarlo, where are you going? Asked Roberto. I'm going to India for the vacations. I'm coming too. All right. So Roberto hopped on the Scarlo back. Scarlo flew to India all the way from Suez. After a few months, they reached India. Roberto visited many places with Scarlo. Then it was time to go back home. Roberto, it is time to go home. Scarlo said to Roberto, oh, I love this place very much. I'm not coming. I'm staying here itself. So Roberto Mouse stayed in India and Scarlo Scark went back to Rome. Scarlo comes back every year to visit his friend in India and he brings along many friends too. Swanky and Donkey. Swanky is a boastful donkey. After running off from village and settling in the forest, he used to tell tales about his fast. Every day he would find someone to listen to him. On this particular day, Sonky saw a few policemen standing by the roadside looking tired. Why are you looking so tired? We were chasing some thieves and they have escaped. Oh no, you should not have let them go. Do you know what I did with some thieves some time ago? I was also chasing some thieves. They were whizzing along in a fast car as I chased them on foot. When I saw them speeding up, I tossed out a long rope that had a hook at the other end. I hooked the thief's car by his bumper and then pulled the rope in. The thieves revved up the engine. I tugged at the rope with all my might. Then do you know what I did? I let the rope go. The car suddenly rolled forward, toppled, and turned upside down. I did not waste a second. I caught all the thieves and tied them with the same rope and dragged them to the king. Why did not you do something like that? Asked Swanky. Telling lies is a crime in this country. Do you know that? A policeman replied with a question. In a second more, our valiant Swanky disappeared, taking responsibility. Two families lived nearby. One family was constantly fighting while the other one lived quietly and friendly. One day, feeling jealous about how nicely the neighbor family got along, the wife told her husband, go to the neighbor and look to see what they are doing for their well-being. The husband went ahead and began watching. He saw a woman who was cleaning the floor. Suddenly something distracted her and she ran to the kitchen at that time. The husband rushed into the room, not noticing the bucket of water. He kicked it and spilled water all over the floor. His wife came back from the kitchen and said to him, I'm sorry, honey, it's my fault. I didn't move the bucket out of the way. The husband replied, no, I'm sorry, honey, it's my fault because I did not notice it. The woman returned home and his wife asked him if he found out what the secret was. I think the difference is that we always seek to be right while they seek to take responsibility for their part. Having peaceful relationship means taking personal responsibility for our own part. Beautiful. Tenali Rama and the thieves. And one calm night, Tenali Rama was resting at home. The moon was shining brightly, the cool breeze blew gently. Suddenly, Tenali Rama saw somebody moving from the nearby bushes. He could see two shadowy figures in the dark hiding themselves behind the bushes. Tenali Rama concluded them to be thieves and decided to teach them a lesson. He went inside his house and spoke to his wife. Listen, dear, he continued loudly. We need to safeguard all our valuables from theft. Bring a metal box. The thief, who heard all these words, smiled at each other happily. Tenali Rama then whispered to his wife about his plan. He asked her to bring some bricks and put them in a metal box. He carried the metal box on his head and took it to the well in the backyard. He kept the box on the wall of the well and said, "My dear wife, we must be careful. Thieves are waiting to steal our wealth. I want to safeguard the jewels and the money from them. This is the safest place in our house to safeguard our wealth." Saying these words to his wife, he dropped the box into the well. The box fell down into the water with a loud noise. Splash! Tenali Rama and his wife slept peacefully. The thieves, watching all this, hugged each other happily. At midnight, the thieves went near the well and looked into it. The well was deep and had a lot of water. They could not jump into it, so both of them decided to drain the well. So they drew water with a bucket from the well and poured it into their nearby garden. They had to do it quietly. Throughout the night, they drew water from the well. They became tired further. They hardly drained the water. They sat for a while to take the rest. At dawn, Tenali Rama awoke and came near the well. On seeing him, both the thieves trembled in fear. Tenali Rama spoke to them gently. "Dear brothers, thank you so much for watering my plants all through the night. I wanted to reward both of you in the king's palace for the services you have rendered to me." The thieves were terribly shocked and ran away from the house of Tenali Rama. Oh my God, the ant and the grasshopper. It's like, these stories are so exciting. Like, you don't know what's happening next, so you just go on and on. I know, I'm sorry, I'm picking up the speed because it's like I'm so anxious, so curious to know what's happening next. It's like you can't wait to get to the climax, right? So please forgive me, bear with me. Let's pick up the same speed. We can do it. The ant and the grasshopper. One cold, frosty day in the middle of the winter, a colony of ants was busy trying out some grains of corn which had grown damp during the wet autumn weather. The grasshopper, half dead with cold and hunger, came up to one of the ants. "Please give me the grain or two from your store of corn to save my life. We work day and night to get this corn in. Why should I give it to you?" asked the ant crossly. Whatever were you doing all last summer when you should have been gathering your food?" "Oh, I didn't have time for things like that. I was far too busy singing to Canny Corn about." The ant laughed kindly. "Unkindly, in that case, you can sing all winter as far as I am concerned," he said. And without another word, he turned back to his work. Islam teaches us that we should help the less fortunate, but it also teaches us that we must work hard and not rely on the kindness of others for our daily needs. The ant in the door. One hot day, an ant was searching for some water. After walking around for some time, she came to the spring. To reach the spring, she had to climb up a blade of grass. While making her way up, she slipped and fell into the water. She could have drowned if a dove up a nearby tree had not seen her. Seeing that the ant was in trouble, the dove quickly plucked out a leaf and dropped it into the water near the struggling ant. The ant moved toward the leaf and climbed up there. Soon it carried her safely to dry ground. Just at the time, a hunter nearby was throwing out his net toward the dove. Hopping to trap it, guessing what he was about to do, the ant quickly bit him on the heel. Feeling the pain, the hunter dropped